Are you a Dayton Dragons fan? Have you ever wanted to ask a Spanish-speaking player what inspires them to play, or how their journey to the major leagues has been? This is Alex Woodall, a mass communication and Spanish student here at Wright State University. And I had the opportunity to do just that this past summer with the help of Associate Professor of Communication, Dr. Scott Peterson. This podcast contains 3 interviews I did with 3 different players. The first one is Jose Ortiz, catcher for the Dragons. Describe your journey so far in professional baseball. In the middle of 2012, I signed with Cincinnati. My first 2 years were very successful. They went very well. I spent 2012 in Arizona and 2013 in Billings. Then in 2014, I was asked to come here. It has not been a good year. I am starting from scratch here in Dayton with the Dragons. It's not going well. It's not all that I wanted it to be, but my defense has improved. The goal is to win. The Dayton Dragons fan base is great. We need to give back to them by making it to the playoffs.
¿Usted considera el juego as una carrera o un camino a su futuro?
Yes, I consider this my future. There's nothing to lose. I have a family to support, like everyone else. And yes, this is the future for me. How has your attitude changed toward the game since you came to Dayton? First of all, it's a long league. You have to prepare both mentally and physically because there are many games and there are many months of games. You have to prepare mentally because, for example, there are failures. You will fail a lot, and you need to know that. So you need to prepare for those situations. What is the number one thing that you would like to learn this season? I would like to gain more experience. And with more experience, I can play in the major leagues or get the chance to play in Puerto Rico in the winter leagues. Unfortunately, since this interview, Jose Ortiz has been released as of July 18th, 2015. Next up is Ronald Bueno from the Dominican Republic, second baseman for the Dragons. When I asked him about his journey in professional baseball so far, I was so nervous I could barely get the words out. Once I did, here's what he had to say.
Bueno, mi travesía profesional comencé jugando en Dominicana.
I started playing in the Dominican Republic, and then I signed with Cincinnati, and spent another year in the Dominican. And then I came here to the United States, to Arizona, after which I was asked to go to the Billings Mustangs. After playing a full season there, I returned to Arizona, and then I came here to Dayton. Then I asked him what the number one thing would be that he would like to learn this season. Although his answer lacks specifics, Bueno tells me that no one ever stops learning, and that he wants to keep learning in order to keep progressing. Next, I asked Bueno if he views baseball as a pathway to his future. Baseball has been in my blood ever since I was a kid. I started playing when I was 8 years old. This for me is like a dream. Almost all my family played baseball. My mother, My father, my brother, all my family played baseball. This is like a dream for me. I don't see it as a sport. I see it as a dream. Finally, I asked Bueno how his attitude toward the game has changed since he came to Dayton. The fan base is great. It's all great. There's no way to describe it, but Dayton is the best. Since this interview, Ronald Bueno has been promoted to Cincinnati's high-class A team, the Daytona Tortugas, as of July 3rd, 2015. My final interview is with Luis Gonzalez, shortstop for the Dragons. Please note that I had to paraphrase some of his answers because they were somewhat vague. When I first asked him how his journey in professional baseball has been so far, here's the answer that I received. While he doesn't give me a specific answer, Gonzalez does say that he is very proud and thanks God for the opportunity to be with the Cincinnati Reds organization and that he feels very good about it. I then asked him if he sees baseball as a pathway to his future. Yes, a very good future for my family, and a strong one as well. Next, I asked him how his attitude toward the game has changed since he came to Dayton. While his answer lacks specifics, he tells me that he thanks God for helping his attitude to change so much, and he feels good and is in good health, and those are the most important things. Finally, I asked Gonzalez what the number one thing would be that he would like to learn this season. Well, I want to learn English. Luis Gonzalez remains with the Dragons as of January 9th, 2016. Thank you for listening to this podcast. For those of you watching the enhanced version of this podcast, all photo credits go to Dr. Scott Peterson, Associate Professor of Communication at Wright State University. This is Alex Woodall signing off. Thank you again. See you next time.